Well, hello, Slay family. Very, very thrilled and excited to introduce you to our special guest today, tuning in from Las Vegas. Today, we have somebody who I can only say as a legendary warrior for women, and that is Marina Worre. So first and foremost, Marina, thank you so much for being here.
Oh, thank you so much for having me, Leanne. It's my great honor and pleasure.
Such a pleasure. And if you don't know who Marina Worre is, you will never forget her after this. Marina is just a global powerhouse and leader for women that are working in the home-based business industry. She's the CEO of Network Marketing Pro. She's also the founder of the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing, a huge summit that she does every year. And in her spare time, while she's doing all that and raising a family, she built one of the most phenomenal studios in the United States in Vegas, which we'll talk about as well, Worre Studios. So let's get started if we can. Marina, can you tell everyone a little bit about your background in the industry and the incredible things you're doing to empower and uplift women that are working from home and trying to make an extra buck while they're juggling their careers and families?
Well, I started as an entrepreneur at my 18 years old age. So I've been kind of like doing business in one shape or form pretty early on. So I started my kids store where I had a lot of stuff for pretty much anything and everything you can imagine for kids, of like from 0 to like 14, 15, clothes, food, shoes, toys, anything you can imagine. So that was my kind of like first introduction to the entrepreneurship. And around my 21st birthday, I found network marketing, and it was interesting opportunity and interesting experience for me because, you know, when you're an entrepreneur doing something else, it's called a generic business, right? And then when you get exposed to network marketing, it's like it's a totally different experience because everybody that I was hanging out inside of my network marketing business, they had big visions, they had big hopes, big dreams. They were very open to collaborate, to support, to help and train me. When in my generic business, it was not the same at all because you are one soldier, even if you have the staff and everything else. You are still the main person to make all the decisions, take all the risks, be responsible for everybody's job opportunity. You become your own lawyer, you become your own a cleaning lady, you become your own accountant, you become your own marketing arm. You do everything that most of the time as entrepreneurs wouldn't even think about it. You know, so how many people that you probably know who have the ambition and desire because they're cooking well, for example, to make their own bakery or to open their own restaurant, or whatever it might be, right? Whatever your passion is. But once we get into actual process of opening the business and starting something different, something new, now we start realizing, oh my gosh, there is so much more than just making cookies. There is so much more than just feeding people at your restaurant. Like I said, there are so many other things that you need to do as an entrepreneur, and it's complicated and lonely. And guess what? Everybody's who is in the similar business are your competitors. They don't want you to win, because if you win, that means that they lost a piece of the market share. It means that they're not having the same amount of customers because you're taking some of them. So they don't want to help you. They want to compete with you, and even more than that, they want you to fail. So that huge distinctive difference for me to realize at the early age was very eye-opening. And so when I was building network marketing, it was just like two different mentalities, so to speak, on, you know, how one community works and how another non-community works when you're pretty much just by yourself trying to spin all the plates and make things happen. So plus, you know, the all kind of like positive thinking, personal development side of things was really, really fun for me to see, because like I said, everybody's willing to pour their knowledge into you and help you to succeed. So I loved hanging out with that group of people way more than I loved hanging out in my own store. But again, it gave me that perspective to see both sides, because being an entrepreneur is absolutely not easy. And guess what? Being in network marketing is not easy either, because it is business. It's still business, even though you have much bigger support from the companies that you're promoting products and services with. But it's slightly different animal. So it was fun for me to learn those different sides of entrepreneurship.
It is wild. It's such a completely different culture. I mean, coming from you being an entrepreneur, I'm a lawyer. It's a really different world to have teamwork, camaraderie, and personal development. I've never seen any of that in my professional career. And nowadays, I mean, everyone knows people who they've either been in network marketing or they know someone in network marketing, whether you have a friend that sold makeup, jewelry, services, there's all a million different things people sell, but it gives people freedom to build their own schedule and set an unlimited income. I think one of the things that you've been just amazing at showing and educating people is how big an industry it is globally. So can you talk a little bit about what this industry is doing worldwide?
Yeah, it's interesting because a lot of times people, first of all, do not realize how big of an industry or profession it is, because we kind of like, we hear about the, different sports and different businesses, and like, hey, and this business generates that many billions and that business generates that many billions. And the statistics for network marketing are actually multi-huge industries that, combine. Network marketing generates almost 200 billion on an annual basis in retail sales. And there's over 100 million people involved in this profession around the globe. So it's huge, it's massive. So if you think of big parts of the entertainment, like music, movies, different hockey or football or bunch of different sport leagues combined, is still less than what network marketing generates a year. So it's huge opportunity. And if it's done right, I think it's one of the best entrepreneurial vehicles for people to test their entrepreneurial muscles, because like I said, inside of network marketing, you have a huge support from the organization and the company that you're representing. You have a huge support from the team and people who are above you, your leaders, because they're interested for you to win. And that's why they're doing everything they can to help you, to explain to you, to train you, pretty much hold your hand through the process. But at the end of the day, it's still a business that you need to take seriously and run. And I think once people recognize that, hey, if I learn the skills necessary to build this business right, if I develop the mindset necessary to become an entrepreneur, because a lot of people come into network marketing or any business venture mostly with a play mentality. And what that means that a lot of people clock in and clock out. They used to do the 9 to 5, right? Where it's not necessarily important for them to even produce the results. It's important that they show up. They can check the box that, hey, I've been at work today. Hey, I'm clocking out because I'm leaving right now. So it's kind of like my job and my responsibility is done. And they have a steady income coming every single month. Being an entrepreneur or being in network marketing is a different vehicles all the way altogether, because in network marketing, we need to produce results. And as an entrepreneur, you need to produce the results. You cannot just come into the office and move papers from one side of the table to another side of the table, because that's not going to generate results. So inside of any business venture, you're getting paid on the results that you produce. And inside of network marketing, it's no different. It's a business opportunity. It's a business venture that if you realize that when you bring your leadership, your passion, your excitement, and your work ethic into this business, just like you said earlier, there's pretty much unlimited potential what you can do, how much money you can make, the relationships that you can build, the camaraderie inside of this profession. So there are so many amazing benefits to it. And I wish a lot more people understood network marketing better than what they see it today.
And the other thing that's fantastic is, when you started your store, when you first became an entrepreneur, most people in traditional businesses, they need a substantial amount of capital and inventory. Right. And here, somebody can keep the security of their career if they have one and start this part-time. There's a very small investment to get started. You're not risking losing everything. So there's a lot of safety in being able to do this part-time and, build it at a pace that's comfortable for someone.
Yeah, absolutely. Because, this business is built around people using that as a supplementary income. So you can be a full-time lawyer, or you can be a full-time nurse or teacher, or whatever other profession you are in, and use this as a vehicle to help you to generate additional cash flow, and see, if you want to take it seriously and become one of the full-time people who are building the business inside of network marketing space, just like you would do it in the other business or at your job, you can take that income to a much more significant level and potentially replace your full-time job. But it's so fun to see the opportunities that people have, even though you have a job, you create that a little or a higher additional income that you can have freedoms or bigger freedoms in your life. So you can do and take your family on vacation that you always dreamed of, or you can, rent the house that you want or buy the house that you want. And it's not just, 4 walls, it's actually the home that you all can make beautiful memories and all the laughter and all the beautiful relationships that can build and come out of from that. So there are so many things that you can do inside of this profession if you treat it seriously. And I just love it.
That's fantastic. And you are the founder of the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing, which is an incredible event that takes place once a year. I know the event just passed, but maybe you could tell everybody in the audience a little bit about that event and how you've been able to reach women all around the world.
Well, first of all, network marketing, the majority of the representation inside of this profession is women. So we as women, we represent 77% of all the participants inside of the profession.
Wow.
77% worldwide. And I think a lot of reasons are because it has this flexibility, because you can do this part-time, because you can do it on your timetable. So you can still be a homestay mom or a businesswoman and have an additional time to build your network marketing dream while you're still taking care of your kids, while you're still taking care of your family, while you're still potentially working your full-time job. So that flexibility that network marketing allows is huge. And I think that's why it attracts so many women into the space, because on one side, we are the ones who, love to share things with our friends, to say it's like, hey, I like this water, so I think you should try it. Or I watched this movie and it was so amazing, and I think you should go ahead and watch it. Or I love this restaurant, you should go ahead and try their food. So we are very naturally sharing these kind of information. And on the other side, women are responsible for 80% of all the purchasing decisions in the family. So we're not just buying for ourselves, we're buying for our kids, for our spouses, for our loved ones, for our home. So we do a lot of those purchasing, make a lot of those purchasing decisions. So that makes us a high majority customer, and it also gives us the opportunity on the financial side. So that's why women are represented on both sides, as a customer and as a business builder. So it made all perfect sense. I was like, okay, if 77% of the 100 million population participating in network marketing are women, we need to do something specific for women, because as women, we all have different obligations inside of the family. We also have different needs in the sense of, we need to take care of our kids. We need to take care of our family. We need to do so many different things and juggle so many balls, that the flexibility is important. But also, I think that as women, we view things slightly different, in the sense that we bring that passion, we bring that excitement. We want to know how to build this business if I'm a single mom, right? Because I have so many things that are happening in my world that I need to make sure I do my best to, to do both things. So that's why, and also, people were saying, like, a lot of the questions I was getting is like, hey, I don't have any business background. I don't know how to build a business. But I do want to create additional choices and options for my family. So how do I do that as a woman? How do I do that with my partner, who may not support me in my dream, who may think that that's something that I'm just wasting my time on? Or how do you build when your spouse wants to build with you, but you have different styles? So there are so many different dynamics that are happening when we as women build a business, with our family, without our family. So I felt like there is a need for a special event that will help women to navigate those different situations, that will help and inspire women. Because another myth that it's been circling for a long time in the world is women are not capable, or women cannot lead large organizations. Women cannot build successful business empires. Women cannot run countries and being at the spotlight and be as powerful, because a lot of those things are reserved for men. And I think you probably in your career felt it as well, becoming a lawyer.
Yes.
Woman lawyer, yeah, nah, we need to have guys, right? It's a man's thing. So kind of like going through some of those misconceptions or those myths is something that women struggle with, because if you were told since you were a little girl that you're nothing, you're nobody, you cannot dream big dreams, you're never going to build a big business because you are not meant for it to begin with. So I wanted to shatter all those limiting beliefs and create an umbrella where all the women can come together and be inspired and be educated and be help them to build that belief in themselves, in the business, in their capability, to build their self-worthiness, a lot of those different things. So when Eric and us as a company, we started doing GoPro Recruiting Mastery event now, I think like 14 years ago, a couple years later, because I had a lot of women friends there's like, we have to do something for us. We have to do something for women. And that's how the Most Powerful Women in Network Marketing event was born, to help women to step into their true power and equip them with the skills and the mindset necessary. So that's pretty much the biggest outcome for this event always.
It's an incredible event, and so many people really gravitate towards that for all the things you said: education, inspiration, all of it. And I always laugh because I believe opposites attract. So it's very common, when someone gets into a business like this, that their spouse may be more conservative and they're the risk taker. So when you touch base on, sometimes a woman will get started and her husband won't believe that it's possible or support it. Just seeing other women successful creates a vision that other people can step into.
Yeah.
Now, in addition to the Most Powerful Women, you and your husband, Eric, run unbelievable programs for people who are in this industry. Do you want to take a second and share not only what you two do, you do it in this beautiful studio. You have to brag about your studio for a minute, because the fact that you build this is mind-blowing. And then you have an event that's coming up as well. So that's a lot to touch base on. Let's kind of conquer it.
Well, with the studio, it was interesting because that big event that I mentioned earlier, GoPro Recruiting Mastery, we typically do that at the end of the year, sometime in December. And at that event, we pre-sell tickets for the next year event. So a year in advance, we pre-sold at that time about 7,000 tickets, and then COVID hit. So now we were kind of like faced with a dilemma. What do we do? Because there's a lot of people in the world. We were like crossing our fingers and hoping for the best, that it's all going to be over soon. And we're just gonna, life gets back to normal as usual. And sometime in midsummer, we realized, like, it's not going to be back to normal. It's not going to be business as usual anytime soon. So we need to figure something out. And that's where the idea of building the studio came out originally, because like I said, we had that 7,000 tickets pre-sold already, and we needed to make a safe space for these people to come and learn, because there was even I felt like it's even more important now to do it, because it was just so much uncertainty. People lost their incomes, people lost their jobs. So we felt like we cannot just use COVID as an excuse that we can't do this event because of COVID. We actually must create this event to give people the necessary tools and opportunity to keep paying the bills, because the jobs disappeared, but the bills didn't go away, right?
So
People
true.
had to live their lives, feed their families, keep the roof over their heads, and do all those necessary things. So when we saw that, okay, we cannot do the live event, we cannot have in-person events for, I think at that time it was like 25 or 50 people max, and we already have 7,000 people coming in. So we decided to build the studio, and on a very, very short time frame, I was able to build this studio. And those of you who haven't seen it, I would encourage you at some point to come and participate in our events live. Even though if you participated virtually, it still doesn't do it justice, because It's a 25,000 square foot facility with like high-end tech everywhere that supports very, very interactive and fun and exciting events that we host from the studio for the last couple of years. And it's just so much fun. It creates the connection for people because for a season, everybody's like, oh, I want to go back to live events. I want to go back to live events. And yes, even though all of that is super fun and exciting, at the same time, it's really hard to go to those live events because now first of all, it's very expensive because with the gas prices and everything else, the fuel is becoming super expensive. So we are faced with huge prices for travel, hotels, planes, all different transportation vehicles become much more expensive. So people cannot necessarily afford to come for in-person event. Plus, because our company is so international and we train people from all over the world, a lot of people have issues with visas. So they cannot come to the United States because of the visa issue, let alone the money issue. So having that ability to reach people virtually was a huge, big game changer for us as a company, but also giving the opportunity to get that knowledge, to learn the skills necessary and the mindset necessary from the comfort of their home, and the money that they could potentially or should have been spending on the travel, now they can keep inside of their family. Now they can put it back into their business. Now they can put it back into their personal education. So that's a huge thing, because when I did my first women's event out of the studio, we had over 180,000 people registered. So if you think about it, on average, they would have to spend, let's say, $2,000, right, to fly to the United States, to rent a hotel, eat, move around during those few days. Even if the ticket was free to the event, they would still spend about $2,000 on average. Now, think about it. It's $36 million that we saved to our community from just that event alone. They didn't have to spend, that they can pour back into their community. They can pour back into their personal education or spend on their business. So that's been another game changer for us. And we're able to translate into pretty much unlimited amount of languages from the studio, so people can get a high level experience in their own language. So all the amazing tech that we have here allows us to do a lot of really fun things. And those who are connecting virtually, they don't really feel that they're at home, because the interactivity piece, we can see them on the huge screen. Oftentimes we see them cooking, or we see them cuddling with their pads, or kids running around in the background, all kinds of fun stuff. And we see that, and we can call on that from the studio and say, hey, what's your baby's name? And people's like, what are you talking about? It just creates such an intimate level of connection that oftentimes you cannot even do in in-person events, because if you have an audience more than, let's say, 2,000 people, first of all, you don't even see them because the lights are so dark in the audience. So you don't see people's faces. You don't see their reaction. You don't know their names. So many things that you cannot do because you're in the big arena. And oftentimes, because Eric and I, prior to this, we're doing those events in big arenas. And once you have, like I said, over a certain amount of people, you cannot necessarily connect with them on such a deep level that we would like to, but also because we do a lot of exercises, because our goal is not just to entertain you during the event. Our goal is actually teach you something. We want to teach you those skills. We want to teach you how to think as an entrepreneur. We want to teach you all these necessary techniques and strategies to be successful. And oftentimes we want to break people into the smaller groups so they can do an assignment, so they can practice a little bit and get a little bit more comfortable and confident in a certain skill. But again, if you have 10, 20, 30,000 people watching, you cannot do it even at the live event. So having the technical abilities to break people into the smaller groups, send them on those assignments so they can come out a little bit more confident on the other side, is another huge thing that we're able to do because of the studio. So the technical abilities are honestly insane. I don't even want to go into all the tech stuff because sometimes I don't even understand half of it, but I know it's pretty fancy and pretty cool. But to go back to the whole point of building it, I think it's one of those things that, sometimes we see the problem that we want to solve. And it seems so big and so, unsolvable. And it's just so complicated that oftentimes we just give up. That oftentimes we just pull back. For me, being exposed into the personal development for all these years, being an entrepreneur myself from the early age, I learned how to solve problems. I think it's one of my highest skills is to solve problems. And a lot of times we think that, oh, rich people or successful people don't have problems, which is not true. Everybody have their problems. It just the problems of their level, so if people, one of their problems might be to bring the food over to the table and keep the roof over their heads, it's a big problem. And for people at that level. But then when you start having higher level of success, you start having higher level of problems. That means that we need to develop higher level of problem solving skills, so we can solve those problems on a much more efficient way. So when you have a team, for example, of one person, you have one set of problems. But when you have a team of 50,000, 100,000 people, it's another problem. It might be a good problem, right? It's a good problem. Some of you are like, man, if I had that 10,000 or 50,000 team right now, give me that problem, please, right? Which is great. But again, you need to learn the ways how to communicate with them better. You need to learn the ways how to lead them in the proper way. You need to help these people go into action and pass their fears or their limiting beliefs. So it's a different skill set altogether that is required higher you climb that ladder of success. So I think it's all doable and everything is possible, everything that you want in your life. Just like when I started building this studio, I had no clue where to start and how to do any of those things. Step by step, I was able to figure it out. I was able to build a team of amazing professionals and not being shy to ask for advice, because like I said, I'm not super techie person. And this place is like a spaceship. It's so
that
high.
place is unbelievable.
Everything.
Yeah.
So
And that you built it with no experience doing anything like that is
right. So I had
mind-blowing.
to, right. But that's what this team all about, right? To bring the right people, to bring the A players into whatever business you're doing, so they can help you solve the problems on the higher scale, and you can get to your ultimate goal much faster. So all the previous experiences that I had in my life led me to build this studio. All the different building kind of like challenges I had with building the business or building the house or building whatever taught me very important lessons that I was able to implement when I was building the studio. And obviously the mindset, the winning mindset, my problem solving mindset, dealing with my own fears, dealing with naysayers. I had so many people say like, who, she won't be able to do that. Who, this girl? No chance. So I had to deal with some of my emotional stuff to deal with those naysayers and make sure that, you know what, I got it. I'll figure it out. If I don't know all the answers now, I'll find the right people to help me solve that problem. So like I said, every experience that I had in my life prior helped me do this on such a short time frame because of those experiences that I had up till this point.
It's just remarkable. I mean, what you built, you would think somebody with 20 years of experience wouldn't have the nerve to even try and tackle it. But that's what I love about you. You're not only bold, but you produce results everywhere you go. It's astonishing. So there are people who will be listening to this. Maybe they have looked at or thought about doing network marketing. Maybe there are people who've just started network marketing, and maybe there are people who are really advanced. But at the end of the day, one of the great things about the industry is that not only can you make money on your own schedule selling a service or a product, but you can build a team as well. And all great businesses let you build a team. Back when I was practicing law, I was part of someone else's team. They owned the law firm. They made money off of the hours I put in. Like, that's the way the business world goes. But for a lot of people, when they get into the industry, that is a challenge. And I know that you and Eric are running a really exciting special event, and we're going to announce it right before it hits the press here today. So could you share with everyone a little bit about the event that you have coming up on August 26th?
So inside of network marketing, one of the biggest things and the most kind of like is like a gateway skill into this profession is recruiting. Your ability to bring other business builders into this industry, into this profession is really important, because if And everybody who is watching it today, if you are already part of network marketing, let me know if you do love and believe in your products and services, right? I would assume every one of you loves and believes in your products and services. Otherwise, you would not be representing it. But the question is, how many things, how many products or services you can do as a single man or woman? Not much, right? You can, as it doesn't matter how big your belief in your product is, but if you are the only one telling the world about how amazing it is, it may take a lifetime, to spread the word to such a huge amount of people. So that's why building teams is really important, because now if you have 5 people, 10 people, 100 people, 1,000 people, 50,000 people, now as an army of representing that amazing products and service that you have, you can reach way more people. So one of the most important skills inside of our profession is to build that team. And how do you do that? By recruiting, by sharing your opportunity, by sharing your products and services with others, and see if they want to lock arms with you and work with you. So recruiting is a very, very important skill set that everybody who wants to treat this business seriously have to possess. And on August 26th, Eric will be hosting GoPro Recruiting Challenge. That the whole purpose of that event is to help you recruit and help you recruit on demand. And not just that, but also help you recruit strong business builders. Because, inside of our business, Eric is calling them tourists. People who just kind of like come and play, kind of like, hey, let's see if it works. Hey, let me kind of like buy the product. Let me throw on the wall and see if it sticks. When people come into this business with some kind of a lottery mentality, hopefully I'm going to get lucky, or hopefully I'm going to bring that magic distributor into my business who will do all the work and I don't have to do anything. It just does
That's
not
like
work.
winning Powerball in the industry.
Right. It does not work like this. So Eric and I are very big on teaching the skills necessary, and the recruiting is one of those skills that is a must in our profession. So we want to help everybody who been in the business for some time and haven't recruited anybody, or knows that they can do much better at this skill. So maybe they recruited one person here, one person there. But it's also important not just recruit people, a lot of people over time. It's also important to recruit them in a condensed amount of time. Because think about it, if you're bringing one person a month, as a new recruit, okay, you bring one person here, and then 30 days from now you bring another person, and then 30 days from now you bring another person. It's almost like orphans, right? It's not really a team. It's really hard to lead them because they're on the different journey, all of them. There is no camaraderie. There is no, something to run with and go forward as a team, because you don't really have a team. You have like onesies and twosies here and there, and that's about it. So bringing a fresh class of 2023 together in a short period of time, and now you have a team. Now there is a momentum going. Now there is more excitement. Now they compete with each other. Now they having fun. Now kind of like their juice is going, and people are recruiting on a higher scale. So that's what we want to teach people. So even if you've been in a business for quite some time, but haven't mastered the skill of recruiting yet, or you just started, you just heard from somebody, you just signed up, and you're totally lost and have no clue what to do and how to start this business. Again, this challenge can help you tremendously to understand these different steps that are necessary for you to talk to your prospect, whether it's your family and friends and somebody you know for a long, long time, or it's somebody that you just met on the internet, some of you who's following you on, somebody who's following you on different social media platforms. So all these different people that can benefit from your products or services, that can benefit from additional income, that's kind of like, that's the main target, and that's the main goal for us, to help you teach how to recruit the hot market, family and friends, how to recruit from the cold market, people you kind of like know, kind of like on occasion, and also how to nurture your relationships and build enormous group of friends that can, because every friend is somebody who was a stranger to begin with a while back. So teaching you all those different techniques to grow that list of people that you can bring into the business later, or how to prospect them properly today, That's pretty much what we will be doing and teaching during that challenge. And it's going to be massive. It's going to be huge. I think everybody who registers for that event, and I know you're going to have link and ability to tell people how they can do that. Right now, just save the date that it's August 26th. So you will be committed to participate in this challenge because it's going to be life-changing. Like I said, Eric and a lot of really high recruiters inside of our profession going to be sharing different strategies, how to recruit on demand, what works today, not just what worked 5, 10, 15 years ago, but what works today. Because in today's era of internet and social media, we can reach so many more people so much faster. So there are special techniques and strategies how to do that. So we will be sharing that and so much more on that event. So I'm super excited because I want to see people win. I want to see people create financial freedom and future for them. They don't have to stress about paying those bills anymore. They don't have to stress about their mortgage. They don't have to stress about how I'm going to feed my kids tomorrow. They don't have to stress about all those different things. And network marketing can provide on its promises. You just have to build this business and treat it seriously. And like I said, recruiting is one of the most important and gateway skills to help you build a bigger career or bigger business inside of network marketing.
It's just amazing. And, all winning teams recruit. I'm a big football fan and, I always watch the NFL and they recruit. And like you said, they don't onesie. There's a certain time of year, they build the team for the season and they're off. And if someone starts a new real estate business, they go out and build a team of real estate agents. If someone starts a new law firm, they go recruit new lawyers. I mean, it's just the way to launch a business. So that event is going to be on August 26th. And I'm super excited because am I allowed to leak how inexpensive it is? Or are we not saying that yet?
No, you can. You can.
Oh, it's crazy. It is crazy. Look, some of you who like Starbucks, your Starbucks costs more than this. They are putting on this event globally, and you can register online for, are you ready for this? A whopping $7, $7 to get that kind of experience and knowledge from people all over the world. And just the Worries alone is amazing. You can't learn anything for $7. So to have that and make it so affordable says a lot about your character, Marina, you and Eric, and how much you want to empower people in the industry.
Yeah, we want to reach the masses because, I think that one of the reasons why we're charging so little, because on one side, we want to see your commitment because we don't want those tourists, right? I live in Las Vegas and there are a lot of tourists that come and go into this town and we love them, but they're not necessarily going to be residents of this beautiful community, right? So we want to see that you are hungry, willing, and coachable for that information. That's why we only charging like $7, so we can see that you are interested and you really want to do something special, but also because we want to reach millions of people. We want to improve the lives of millions and not just a few, because we could charge $1,000 for that event and it would be worth every penny. I can guarantee you that. But because we want to bring hundreds of thousands of people to this event and reach as many people as possible, that's why we're making it so affordable and so ridiculously cheap, so we can have as many people as possible to attend, so we can give you the skills necessary so you can go out and build a business for yourself and for your family.
Well, it's awesome that you're doing it. And, for those of you who are either watching or listening, depending on what platform you're tuned in, there really is nobody in the world that even comes close to what Marina and Eric are doing. They are the global leaders in the industry. So $7, holy smokes. I would not only tell you you should register, but any friend you have in the industry or anyone who's been looking to be able to make money from home needs to tune into that for sure. And that registration is going to open up. And I'm very excited to announce that as many of you know who are part of the Slay group, we have a lot of different people, entrepreneurs and leaders and all kinds of people come in and speak. But one of my favorite charities ever is the Ronald McDonald House charity. It's something I've been connected with for decades. And that is a charity that helps families when their children has a life-threatening or very serious illness and they have to go out of town for medical treatment. So thank you to the Worries. I'm going to be able to have a special link. And if you go through that link, a small donation will be made to the Ronald McDonald House charity. It'll still only be $7, but you'll have that as well. So I'm going to have that out for you on all of my platforms on August 1st. So we'll be able to hit the ground running. And Marina, I just can't thank you enough for being generous. I know you're sitting in your studio right now and you've got the parking lot for the studio behind you and you're sitting there and you've got your husband filming in another room. Taking the time to speak with our organization is something I'm so grateful for. So thank you so much for being here today.
Oh, it's my pleasure. I love what I do. So that's why for me, it doesn't feel like work. Even though like there are fun days and not so fun days. And sometimes we work 12, 14, 16-hour days if it's necessary. But it's such a rewarding work to do because I travel the world a lot, and every time we meet people at the events or in different shapes and forms, they tell us like, hey, you changed my life. You helped me to see and believe in myself when I didn't believe in myself. You helped me and equipped me with the tools necessary to go out and rebuild my financial situation or take it to the next level, whatever it might be for you. It's always fun to hear those stories. And then every time we work so hard and running and gunning like right now we do, it's very empowering to hear that feedback that it matters. What we do matters. What we do changes lives for real. It's not just a fancy slogan. It's not just like, oh my gosh, look at how cool I am. Because we're so blessed with the knowledge that we have. This profession's been so nice to us, and we want to pay it forward. And we want to make sure that more people recognize the beauty of network marketing and start treating it seriously. And like I said, you can absolutely change your life. Eric and I are living proof of that. If you do this profession right, if you build it and treat it seriously, you can absolutely change your life and create so many positive outcomes from this. And just the person you're becoming in the process, just that alone is already so huge. If I did not do my network marketing journey, if I did not have my entrepreneurial journey, I would be a different person today. And obviously different ups and downs make me stronger. It helps me to become more bigger problem solver and help me to generate things on such a higher and new level. So, and that's what we want to give it to you guys, to give you the skills, give you the mindset necessary so you can go out and build this business for yourself and not just by yourself, because there is an enormous amount of people and group that wants you to see you win. I know that you, Leanne, you're doing this because you want to see your people win. You're giving all the knowledge possible. You're bringing all these amazing guests on your podcast so they can inspire and empower your following to the next level. So I hope you got some value from our conversation today. And I just want to tell you that if nobody believes in you, if you don't believe in yourself, borrow my belief, because I know you're capable of so much more than you give yourself credit for. I know that there is that beautiful light that is waiting to start shining so brightly for everybody to see, and be that example for other people who don't believe in themselves, to start thinking like, you know what, if she can do it, I can do it. If he can do it, I can do it. So never forget who is watching while you're living your life and building your business. A lot of people want to have what you have. They just don't know how yet. So if you join the recruiting challenge, we'll teach you how to show the opportunity to your prospects in a much more powerful way, so you can help many more people than just one or two that you will be just trying to do it on your own.
Outstanding. Well, thank you again for everything that you do. You guys heard it from the best out there. So make sure also you follow Marina on her Facebook and Instagram. It's very easy to find Marina Worre. You'll find her right away. So make sure you follow that and stay in tune with everything. And again, I'll have that link for you all on August 1st. But thanks for your generosity of heart, wisdom, spirit, and taking a few minutes to be with us. We really appreciate you.
Oh, my great pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, Leanne. Thank you.
Everyone have a great day, and we'll see you live next week. Take care.
See you next time. Bye-bye.